Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Booth Review, Episode 5. Robbie Basil, Chase Caridi, JJ Seglio. So much has gone on, but there have been a little bit of repeat offenders from every storyline from throughout this week. The Rams, they don't know what special teams are. The Jets don't know what winning is. And the playoffs, and the Brewers are frauds.
Brewers are absolute frauds. And yeah,
We begin with the Brewers because we'll talk about them for literally 10 seconds because that's all they deserve. They're 3-0 down, 3-0 down to the Dodgers because
they can't hit.
Yeah.
They cannot hit whatsoever.
I mean, we'll start with you, JJ, because you love talking about the incredible Milwaukee Brewers because you did that last show.
I do like to talk about Brewers.
Of course, their starting pitcher tonight is undecided for the third day in a row.
I will say, though, to give the Brewers some credit, Jacob Mizorowski pitched phenomenal last night.
Kid was cooking.
He was absolutely fantastic. Now, it just feels like it's unfair. I mean, these guys literally have Roki Sasaki and Tyler Glass now coming out of their bullpen in the playoffs. Like, it's remarkable what they've come down to at this point. And like I said, it's an unfair game. And that's why people think there's a real chance that we're not going to have baseball in 2027.
It's an unlikely event that, 2027, we might not have baseball for a brief bit. I think it's possible, but no one really knows. That's a topic for early in next semester when the show returns. But Chase, talk about what we've seen so far. I mean, JJ brought him Mizorowski, but it's the Dodgers who have been really impressive through the first 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think a problem or a concern, at least, we all had going into the postseason with the Dodgers, despite, just the talent that they've brought to their team, is the bullpen. Seeing if they'd be able to sustain longevity, not just with their starters, but also be able to, keep themselves in the game and not lose themselves to big-time offenses like the Phillies or, as we might have thought before the playoffs happened, the Brewers. But as we've said, the starters have just been able to be absolutely sensational. Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, incredible Game 2 performance. And really
is he a Cy Young favorite right now, you think? Potentially.
I don't even know who the Cy Young favorite would be in the National League.
Does he overtake?
Should have been Wheeler.
True, would have been Wheeler.
Dang.
Poor Zach, man. 2015 Mets legend.
The one Philly we like.
The one Philly.
But yeah, no, overall, just a great performance by the Dodgers. And I think, obviously, I don't think any of us think the Brewers can make any noise at this point. Does it end tonight? Potentially.
Do they got the 2004 Red Sox magic in them? I don't see it.
Just no.
You have to be playing a heated rival in that case.
If any team was to do what they did, it would be this Pat Murphy, pancake magic, power of friendship Brewers team that we've seen all these this entire year.
Yeah, that would be, the right thing to happen. I think Milwaukee will win a game.
Yeah.
They should win tonight because friendship exists. But at the same time, the Dodgers are the Dodgers. They are the team to be. They've always been the team to be. And with the way they can play and the way they can hit, at least they have an offense, And you mentioned Sasaki, Glasnow.
It's just remarkable.
It's amazing. And that's what happens when you have a plethora of starting pitching at your disposal. So for me, I want to backtrack a little bit. Remember when the Dodgers, I believe the Dodgers traded for Glasnow from the Tampa Bay Rays.
Mm-hmm.
And
I knew something was up from the very beginning.
Exactly. And Glasnow with his injury history, had a couple injuries in Pittsburgh, got traded to the Rays, and then was good, and then got traded.
He started with the Pittsburgh Pirates system. It was all in that
rotation that had like Ivan Nova in it at one
just
point.
That outrageous Chris Archer trade.
Clay Holmes.
Yeah, Clay Holmes. That's another one. Jameson Tyone.
It was Garrett Cole, Jameson Tyone, Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah.
And MLB the Show players would really know. Wasn't freaking who's the lefty?
The lefty from that
the short lefty guy.
short lefty.
So last name starts with like a V or something. I don't remember. Point being that's when like Glasnow started, and then he
And
went
then
to the
Chris
Rays,
Archer became a Pirate.
then he got
they
traded for
all
Chris
fell-
Archer.
And then they all fell
Yeah.
apart, the Pirates.
and then it all came crashing down, just like the Milwaukee Brewers season.
Brutal.
So in the end, Tyler Glasnow does have a part to play in this, but it's been the Dodgers who have been very impressive. On the flip side, we've had a series in the American League where no one's won a home game because
It's incredible.
because that makes sense. Home field advantage, I think this is the right way to word it, could be a foreign concept because, it doesn't make any sense to see what was the score from last night?
Last night's game, I believe, was
I didn't look at it.
13-4.
It was
something like that.
8-2 after being 13-4.
Yeah.
So the Toronto Blue Jays, who scored only like half a dozen runs at home in the first two games,
Remember the narrative?
put up 21
Think about this.
runs.
Think about this. This is coming after the
21. That's ridiculous. On the
Unbelievable.
road.
This is
21.
coming right after everybody said that the Jays were only winning at home. Start the investigation. Are they doing some home cooking? They just silenced the narrative in 2 games. 21 runs on the road, which I'm pretty sure is the same amount of runs they put against the Yankees at home, if I'm not mistaken.
Similar.
Yeah,
And was
10 and 13, 23.
23. Yeah. So they put up
They can hit the
40 something runs.
Yeah, they
in
can
those
hit
like
the
brief
lights
stretches.
out.
Tonight's game 5. You can watch that game first. 6:08 is first pitch. Kevin Gossman and Bryce Miller going up. So
Mhm.
maybe we actually see a pitcher's do it. We probably won't.
We're not getting any pitchers.
I mean,
duels this
listen, we
series.
thought we would see really good play from at least Seattle pitching with Kirby and Castillo going back to back in games 3 and 4. But listen, there was one man who they both ran into, and as Mets fans, I think we got to say it. We lost the Francisco Lindor trade because Andres Jimenez is playing some legendary ball right now.
Credit where
Home runs
credit-
off of both of those all-star pitchers and really starting what ended up being big-time rallies to end up being blowout games
just when
to
you
tie this
think,
series.
just when you think it could not get worse for Mets fans, we also had to watch Max Scherzer throw a quality start in a must-win game.
4 walks being a part of a quality start is kind of nuts. But
He
Max
still played great.
I mean, he gave them opportunities
Yeah.
to score, and they just could not capitalize.
After
Did you
Louis-
see what Max did when he was about to get taken out?
Oh
by
my goodness.
John
Refused.
Schneider? He like threw something back at the dugout. Like
he straight up refusing it is kind of a it's kind of a badass move. But
that is the only
point being,
I mean,
Max
he's
Scherzer.
Mad Max for a reason.
Mad Max. Yeah, the best.
multiple players have not shown up for the Mariners. Fun fact for them: they're hitting the offense from 2nd to 5th. With in
How
the
bad
lineup,
are we talking?
have a batting average combined of about 290.
That's honestly not bad.
Everyone else, there is one player hitting over 200
I'm assuming
from the
it's
lineup last
I'm
night.
assuming it's Jorge Polanco.
It is JP Crawford.
What?
Jorge Polanco hit 4th. So yes, Jorge Polanco is in
Okay,
there.
that makes sense.
Players
pay
hitting
attention to
under
the lineup.
200 include Randy Arozarena,
Brutal.
Eugenio Suarez,
Brutal.
this Canzone guy,
Dominic
Dominic
Canzone.
Dominic Canzone,
Brutal.
and whoever plays
Leo
second base.
Rivas?
Leo Rivas.
Brutal.
Brilliant.
Brutal.
Luis Castillo, shout out to him. He got blown up, as did this.
Josh Naylor.
And you had to
with
go through
another
your
home
bullpen
run.
and kind of go through a lot of it. And
Yeah.
that's going to be tough to come back from here in game
Yeah.
5.
So
Now your
then
back's against the
again,
wall.
2 guys
With
threw
Bryce
only
Miller.
10
Yeah.
through 20 pitches or less. So you can use 2 of those players again. In Matt Brash, who I think is really good. I like him. And Vargas also threw under 20 pitches. Same with Bazardo. So sure. So you have a couple arms left, but game 5 tonight, it's of course a very pivotal game.
It's gonna be.
game 5.
It's gonna be probably the biggest baseball game all season.
One of them. And between 2 teams that, like we said last week, we didn't expect to be here in the Mariners and the Blue Jays.
Well,
Toronto, who had their backs
I
against
definitely
the
did
wall
not
off the rip.
expect either of them to
I
be
picked
here.
both of them to be here. So
I mean,
I
I
picked
meant in the beginning
neither.
of the season. Like, you know,
Oh yeah, who knew
Toronto.
Seattle would have an offense for a regular
absolutely
season?
not.
Yeah,
Everyone
Toronto,
thought-
Seattle, we didn't know if their offense was already in Cancun.
We thought that
Toronto, we didn't know what pitching they were
a
going to
lot
have.
of us
and
thought that Texas was going to win the AL West. is
I
what it
actually
was.
had Seattle win in the West.
I had the Astros.
I mean, looking at the
personally.
Blue Jays without Barrios and Bowden Francis, that's when you really think, all right, who do these guys have left?
Bowden, you want to talk about a guy
And
who fell
frankly
off
enough-
a cliff.
Bowden
Frankly enough,
Francis.
now
That-
you got Scherzer.
Nah,
Getting the job done.
the other starters they have, like, I'm trying to remember the other starters they have. Remember when Alec Manoah was good?
Oh my god! Yeah, and then he
Alec Manoah, they had Max Scherzer, who's like
he
mad
had
until the
what
back
may have
end.
been the biggest blow up I've ever seen.
Bro, you've seen nothing yet.
I mean, he literally got sent all the way down to rookie ball,
and then got
He-
waived.
And got waived,
Yeah,
was brought
sorry,
back.
Alec. Sorry, Alec Manoah.
and
Pretty
then got
crazy.
brought all the way back to rookie.
Yeah, so in Manoah, you've Chris Bassett. So
Basset Hound.
It's
His
like
name-
throwing like a relief inning.
That's another. That's
yeah,
another former
Met.
Met right there.
True.
So yeah, game 5 is gonna be fun. Yeah, let's pick the rest of these series.
Oh boy.
So I think we can all say the NL winner. We'll do it on a count of 3, and you can do it at home as well. You could write it in the chat.
you want.
1, 2, 3.
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
That was terrible.
Oh.
That was terrible. But hey,
But how
we're
many
go-
games do we think it goes?
5.
6.
4,
Six.
6. Whoa. Okay.
Honestly, I hope it goes.
Six.
I
I
hope it.
honestly
Go,
think it's 4.
I hope it goes 7, and the Brewers just get annihilated in games.
We have 4, 5, and 6
nuts.
from going from on your screen right to left, our left to
The
right.
Three
You'll have-
At least
Stooges of
none of us said
baseball.
7.
One of us
No one
knows
said
things.
7, which
Yeah,
is
they-
good.
Thank
So-
God. I mean, I would not be. It would be the.
You can
ulti-
make the jokes in the chat.
Don't
We won't
even-
say it here.
It
'cause-
would be the
'cause
ultimate
JJ
Brewers.
might flip the table. So I don't. You can't move this table.
When it comes
so.
in, listen,
he'll
when
try.
it comes to flipping tables, I am definitely a Roy Kent. When it comes.
Oh
to
my
that.
God. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Other series, you know, the one that people might actually watch because it's actually not starting that late.
Correct.
The Blue Jays go to Seattle again. And also, the tickets, if you're in the area, are actually pretty cheap. $87 for
What?
game 5, apparently. Click on the link.
Can you
on-
imagine if the? Bro, I'm telling you right now, if those were like Mets tickets,
Let
I
me
would
see.
get them today.
Yeah, they're actually like the cheapest tickets, $92.
That's
Granted,
outrageous.
you're like behind a foul pole. but
Doesn't
matter,
matter. That's
though.
AL. That's
doesn't
ALCS
matter.
baseball.
Like that center field is 109.
You know how much our World Series ticket? Our World Series tickets cost like almost $1,200. It was
And
outrageous.
if you're trying to go to the World Cup, if you think about like the biggest sporting event in the world next year, think twice. But yeah,
I'll
let's pick
find a
this
way.
game. Get ready to learn. Maybe learn. I don't know. Be ready to take out a loan, buddy. But because who knows how much those tickets are actually going to go for in a couple of weeks.
it might be like
So,
an astronomical
Blue
price.
Jays Mariners. Let's pick this game right now.
This
pick
game or
se-
the series?
Series.
The
You know.
series.
When does
Um,
Game 7 happen?
Game 7 would be Monday, right?
I
The
believe so.
20th. Yep.
Yeah. So Monday.
So we will be talking about the World Series.
We will be talking about the World Series next week. To think we've already made it to the World Series on this show.
Look
unbelievable.
how far we've come.
Look how far we've come. We
It's
haven't
only
won
been
show-
5 weeks.
Yeah, it's been 5 weeks. But hey, it's been a quick 5 weeks.
Been a very fast
All
5
right.
weeks.
Let's pick the series. Chase, you can go first because you usually go first. And
I
just pick
mean,
a
He
game
listen.
normally
anyway.
gets them right.
Listen,
Yes, he does.
I've been riding with the Mariners this entire time, and that is not going to change. The Blue Jays have had quite the hot streak in terms of their hitting. Like I said, Andres Jimenez, absolute legend. But still, I think Seattle, as we've said time and time again, their pitching is what matters most. And I think guys like Arozarena and Suarez are going to get things going as the series continues. I got the Mariners in this one, and I'll say in 6.
Mariners in 6. JJ?
If you know baseball, then you know that every Seattle Mariners series will always come down to the absolute wire. And to make matters worse, there is nothing that they love to do more as a baseball team than to punch their fans in the cojones. That is how I feel about the Seattle Mariners, is they constantly do this every single year. It's not if they're going to do it, it's how they're going to do it and when they're going to do
Blue
it.
Jays do it too, though.
True. But the Mariners have a
True.
legacy, of failure for a reason. And I would be infinitely shocked if that was ever to break. The ultimate Mariners thing to do is to lose game 7. Blue Jays win this one.
So I'm also going with Toronto.
Which means if you're a Mariners fan, you should be dancing to whatever Edge of 17, Dancing Queen, meaning because you're going to the World Series.
Probably. I'm going with Toronto. They're going to be. I mean, I believe they're going to be the first team in the series to win a home game. The only home game that someone's going to win is Game 6 on Sunday night.
Okay.
Waiting all day for Sunday night. We'll be playing. I wish it could play on whatever FS1 is.
I will not be watching
because-
that over football.
Yeah,
but that's
because you
just
have
me.
waiting all day for the Blue Jays to win. By the way, people were laughing on Instagram or like Twitter this week. Did anyone? This is for the chat. Did anyone see the Dominican rap song that like the Latin America
No.
rap song about the Blue Jays beating the Yankees?
No.
It was actually
No.
pretty funny. We're not going to play it because we'll get
Of
demonetized.
course.
But it's
I'm
actually
doing
like you gotta find it if you have Instagram. Like someone made a Spanish song about the Blue Jays beating the Yankees, and it was brilliant. It
Huh.
is now. Granted, it would be very funny if they go out and lose to the Mariners,
That would be hysterical.
because then
Awesome.
everyone would get clipped. For
You would
it.
the Mariners' legacy of failure would be vanquished.
Maybe,
It would because they would have
It would
finally
be.
made the World Series for
and
the
then
first
get blown
time.
out. And then get blown,
Get blown out by
by
the Dodgers.
So, baseball, we have no idea what's going to happen, but you can tune into the series for both of them with tonight's games, and then tomorrow, this series actually gets passed tonight for the Dodgers and the Brewers. You can watch that game instead of watching college football if you want. 8:08 p.m. tomorrow. Sunday, we get Mariners Blue Jays in Game 6 if needed. We will be going to Game 6 at 8:03, excuse me. And then Monday, if we will have Game 7 for the Mariners if needed, and then Game 6 and 7 on Monday and Tuesday for the Dodgers and the Brewers. We'll take a quick break on WIUR. It's time to talk the pigskin when we return on WIUR Radio.
This is WIUR Radio.
Hi, I'm Morgan Beastie from the Ionian, and I hope you're enjoying today's show. Are you looking for the latest scoop on campus news, sports, and more? Check out the Ionian University's very own award-winning student newspaper. We keep you up to date with everything happening on and off campus. Want to know about the big game, the latest campus event? It's all in the Ionian. Join the conversation. Read, write, and get involved. Visit www.theionian.org or pick up a copy around campus. Stay informed, stay connected. Now, back to WIUR, Iona University Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Booth Review on WIUR. Robbie Basil, JJ Seglio, Chase Caridi. We're back again, coming from commercial. Let's talk football because that is usually what we do in the second half of our shows. Unfortunately, certain teams that we support in this room like to show up in the second half or in the half at all.
We are
did
the
not
team
get
that loves to show up in the
from-
second half.
We did not get that from the New York Jets this week. We will begin with them because they did something that may have pissed off many Europeans. They played in London against the Denver Broncos. And the only way I could word this is that game on the field was the definition of a war crime. And that's an understatement because are you ready for some statistics, chat? Are you ready? Are they ready? Do you think they're ready?
I mean, I'll tell you what.
Are they ready?
I'm
Though?
not
Are
ready.
they
Because-
ready? Because this is the equivalent of watching Southampton play on a Sunday.
Oh my god! If you know, you know. The New York Jets had 82 total yards. Those at home who've never played football before and took one step this morning, you have more positive passing yards than the New York Jets from last week. Unbelievable. That is genuinely incredible. -10 passing yards.
Negative 10.
I can take all this. Hold on. I can take steps all the way back here, and I still have more passing yards than Justin Fields does.
We've truly lost the plot.
You have I mean, the Jets have
It's
absolutely
unbelievable.
lost the
They've
plot.
lost the plot.
The kicking
Yards?
team and the return game had more yards than the entire Jets
Austin
offense.
McNamara, I love you. You're amazing. Greg Zuerlein, he's not even on the team anymore. Nick Folk, that's our kicker because Greg Zuerlein got cut. They should have let him take
Rams
the kick at
legends.
the end because, going for it on 4th and 8 when your offense has 82 yards is a very bold move, Mr. Glenn. I never thought in my life where I'd be this upset about a Jets loss, especially a game we should have never been in the first place. But the fact that we were leading in time leading at one point in this game, like time in the lead, is
It's
shocking.
remarkable.
We were leading 11-10. We kicked 3 field goals, got a safety on a holding penalty, and it was 11-10. At one point, you can find the clip on Twitter. It's beautiful.
It really is.
Where Kurt Warner, who I've never always agreed with Kurt Warner. He's done some interesting things in the past. Kurt Warner and who was the other? Rich Eisen?
Rich Eisen.
Rich Eisen, yeah.
In the last 30
God.
seconds, had the best commentary of the season so far.
Can you
No
pull- can
one
you pull
knows
that
what is
up?
happening. Do we remember what happened last week?
Well, can you do it right this time?
No,
Fine.
probably not. It was like, what is happening in London? And the Jets just didn't snap the ball. Garrett Wilson came off furious. We'll talk about Garrett Wilson in about 4 seconds. That's the most as useful as he was in the second half because he had 3 drops. He did get hurt too, which amazing. He will not play this week for the Jets. He's doubtful, probably out for a while. The leading receiver in this game was Evan Ingram. So flash in the pan.
Fuck.
And the one touchdown of the entire game was by a fullback.
That is also true. The leading receiver for the Jets was Josh Reynolds, which is a war crime. Brees Hall actually had the most yards by a player, not a quarterback in this game.
And to think that this isn't even the worst thing going on in London right now. Remarkable.
It is remarkable. And so the Jets, they go to 0-6.
Good news for all you people in London. Your favorite team plays this weekend. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
They're gonna
The
win.
Jets, they took the lead, conceded a field goal, and then had a chance to win it with a 62-yarder, which we know it would have been
Nick
a
Folk could
perfect
probably
narrative.
make that kick.
He has the leg for it.
He does.
My thing with it is this, and we'll end the Jets here because they don't deserve to be talked
They
about
really don't.
anymore. The offense isn't moving the ball. You have a kicker. Yes, you don't have Brandon Aubrey, but you have a kicker.
Most kickers get kicked from 60.
The point here is you lost to this kick a month ago. The idea of flipping the narrative against the Denver Broncos, who did this last year too. Because remember, for those who were here last year, the Jets lost to the Broncos 2 years ago now. The Jets lost to the Broncos off a missed field goal.
No, it was last year.
Was it last year?
10-9 was the final score.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
that is just
Yeah.
the final
That was the first ever
scores,
Bo Nix win in the
final
NFL.
scores of the last 2 Jets games, 13-11 and 10-9.
And I watched both of them. It was
These
terrible.
teams never play each other again.
We
Was
actually
it
played each
raining that
other-
last game?
Yes.
Hmm.
It was a terrible storm. The Jets
That's
had
about-
10
it was
yards.
a nightmare.
Aaron Rodgers just refused to move the ball. I
It
don't
was
know what's
so
going
bad.
on.
It was so bad.
But yeah, it was in a word, bad.
With this loss, the Jets have a legitimate shot at making history, becoming the first team to ever go 0-17. It's genuinely possible.
It's not going to happen. We know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, they'll probably
Does it change
they'll
this
probably
week?
There
win
is
something.
the Jets do play the Denver Broncos again
Oh my god!
next year. So 2026 MetLife Stadium.
Oh, it's in MetLife.
Yes, it is.
Turn up.
my God.
Turn the F up, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Jets and the Broncos next season. Wow, the Jets schedule next year is actually kind of annoying.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we play the Broncos, the Packers, and the Vikings all at home, and in one of the worst AFC North. And whoever finishes bottom of the AFC North. So, Cleveland Browns,
It's
hello.
unfortunate because they're all good.
Yeah, we play the Chiefs and the Chargers on the road next
But to
year.
take
And the
things-
Lions.
but
So
to
the
take
Jets are
things-
winning 4 games next year.
To take things over to a team
Better than
that
this year.
does know what winning is like,
The Bills?
but is starting to look
Hey,
a little
man.
bit out of form.
The
Chase.
Bills.
Oh, we actually meant the Bills? I didn't
Yeah.
realize.
Yeah, let's
No,
talk
I was joking about the Bills. I actually didn't think we were talking about the Bills.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
'cause
talk
they don't know
about-
how to win, clearly.
Let's talk about Monday night, Chase. You
Sure,
got-
I'll
you're
talk about Monday night.
Going into Mercedes-Benz
So it was
Stadium.
a crazy game. I mean, DeAndre Swift, 100 yards, game-winning field goal by the Bears. That's
Wrong game,
awesome.
Chase.
Oh, there was another game on Monday. I didn't remember. Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm worried just a little bit though, because listen, going into the season, I think there was a lot of reality checks for Bills fans realizing, hey, this defense is far from anything we've previously seen throughout this Sean McDermott regime. And we just came off an offensive season where, you know, the offense, 30 passing touchdowns, 30 rushing touchdowns, like an elite overall unit. You know, Joe Brady's the mastermind. It's been a far cry from that this season. I think it really started with that matchup against the Saints where, you know, you just squeak out a win against them. Really, you could even go to the week before that when it came down to Tua playing like Tua to win that game against the Dolphins. But since then, you know, obviously the Patriots have a strong defense, and Drake May is rising more and more in the ranks of quarterback play, and he's able to get that big-time divisional win against the Bills. And then I don't even know where to go with this week. I mean, I went into this, you know, saying I think very much the Bills should be concerned with Bijan Robinson and the rushing attack of the Falcons, and I think 170 rushing yards feels like a reasonable
Not to
result
mention,
of that.
not
Drake
to mention
London.
an 81-yard, to quote the people of Real, saying an 81-yard beast mode for a touchdown.
Oh, I mean, like that was obvious. I knew that was
what
going
were
to
the
happen.
numbers for?
Did you watch Derrick Henry play them first week of the
Oh,
NFL
I
season?
did, yeah. Oh, shout out
Um,
Drake London for saving my
shout out,
fantasy.
yeah,
Shout out Drake London for
shout out to
also
Drake London.
gave me a little bit of hope just before halftime by just missing scoring at the end of that half. And then, you know, the Bills come out of it, they score again. I'm thinking, okay, at least the offense will start clicking now. And it's actually the opposite of what we've seen all season. The defense really starts playing well, stymieing the Falcons offense, but then just unable to get anything going if you're the Bills. I mean, they get away from James Cook, you know, they're just not able to find a rhythm. And then again, it comes down to kind of a story that I feel like many people have said, not even just Bills fans. They don't have a receiving
You need a
target
receiver.
to go to.
You need a
He
go-to
doesn't trust
guy.
Coleman. Shakir can only do so much, and then
Josh
the rest
Palmer.
of the rest
he was
of the
your
bunch.
number one.
Palmer got
60,
hurt.
He was at 60 yards. He got
Yeah,
injured.
Palmer got hurt, and then you know, Bills fans joke being like, Palmer can't be the reason we lose this game because we just lose that receiving weapon. But I mean, you already came into it without Kincaid,
You're also not throwing to
Unfortunate.
Jackson Hodge, which doesn't help anything.
of course. Well, I mean, he's more of a run blocking tight end, but Dawson Knox got a touchdown. That was cool. But again, like we've said, and it also just comes down to just lack of talent on the team and also bad coaching mistakes.
You also have to
I
remember
mean,
that Josh fumbled twice, which didn't help.
It's also, I mean, well, I mean, one of those was one of the worst reverses I've ever seen in my life
Yeah,
to
that
Elijah
was
Moore
an
on 3rd and
atrocity.
1. But nice play call there, losing 5 yards. But yeah, and then it just came down to you can't have Josh play hero ball all the time. I mean, bad ball again tipped out of the hand. We ended up being the game sealing interception, but I mean, the game was already far from winning at that point. At this point, I think you got to make a move. I don't think coaching changes are going to happen at all because, you know, here they are still 4-2, still right up near the top of the AFC East. If there is a coaching change at a coordinator or McDermott himself, I'd be surprised.
Who
But
do
I
you think
definitely
would be the coach that makes it that they?
I mean, I think maybe defensive coordinator. We kind of saw it with Leslie Frazier when that kind of tenure ended
Leslie
after
Frazier.
13 seconds. So, you know, there's nothing kind of new in that
It's
sense.
pretty
but-
unfortunate that that's what it came down to. But I do want to bring this up because you mentioned wide receivers. The Giants have had a lot of names get thrown into trade talks: Jacoby Myers, Chris Olave, Jalen
Mhm.
Waddle. Do you think that the Bills are going to go out and make a trade for a receiver?
I
with the
mean,
deadline
I've seen a
looming?
lot of heat towards the ideas of an Olave, a Waddle. Now, I think the latter would obviously be much harder because it's interdivision. But I mean, even just like a guy like Shaheed, who you know has the speed and like can be kind of
Him
not
with
go for
Josh
as much.
Allen would
There's a
be
lot you could do
unreal.
with a guy like that in the system because obviously, kind of the build of the wide receivers they don't have now. Joe Brady isn't really working to their best potential. Keon Coleman has the capabilities to be a good wide receiver. It's just he's unable to do it up north right now. So it's going to be interesting to see. They're on bye this week, so I think once we come out, we'll see what game they play there, and maybe they'll have another wide receiver at that point. But if something gets rocky right after that, then I think we're
You
going to
get
have
a
to have
nice
some real
breather to relax.
conversations.
And you know, Robbie, last season was what people would say for the Giants a season of unfortunate events.
Yes.
It seems like that's happening for the Jets this year because you look and see not only the Jets 0-6, not only are the Giants waking up and starting to be good, you look at the AFC East standings and you see who's number one.
Yeah. and-
The New England Patriots.
You know, I think the way I would word it, and I told someone about this on Tuesday. This is what actual quarterback development looks like.
Mhm.
It's amazing. You know, it pisses me off so much. Y'all have no idea.
I
You know,
bet, man.
seeing
I was mad when
teams
they drafted
develop,
Drake
you
May.
know, Josh
was mad
Allen,
too.
cool guy. Tua Tagovailoa, when he actually plays, is actually kind of decent.
I also
But-
think
But
it could
then-
also be
Wow.
Mike McDaniel, which is another thing.
But then you go to the Patriots, who no one likes unless you're actually a fan of the team. And you were tired of the same narrative for so long. But then in comes this likable dude, the best quarterback that North Carolina have had in a while, Drake May, who some thought could be the next Mitchell Trubisky. He wasn't.
He was not.
He actually knows what a hard count is. He actually knows how to take a snap. And he also knows how to throw the ball to an actual receiver.
He also knows how to win big games on the road like he did in Buffalo
He
2
did.
weeks ago.
And now the Patriots, who are driving me nuts because the world is evil in a way.
The
They-
crazy thing
They
is
beat the Saints, though. And
true.
what's shocking to me is the Saints are a tough out. And that drives me nuts because there's no way, granted, the leading receiver.
How did the Giants lose to them?
How is the leading rusher Alvin Kamara with 10 rushes for 31 yards?
The Saints.
What
Are,
the heck is
I said
that?
the Saints were probably the most realistic team to go 0-17. Of course, the Giants go out and lose them, which did not help my case whatsoever. But
It's unbelievable how a team with like actual management, that's the framework of what success is like.
To make
Like,
matters
the way I
worse-
worded it was the comparison I made earlier this week. Remember when the Bengals were good? Like
Yeah.
when they had Carson
You
Palmer?
mean right now with Joe Flacco?
So-
Come on.
They had Carson
fair
Palmer.
play.
Then they lose Carson Palmer.
Mhm.
And then they were, Carson Palmer, then Andy Dalton, and then Andy Dalton leaves. Then they were bad. They're bad with Andy Dalton at the end of it. But the point being,
he got
they
too old.
then
No, really
sucked for 2 years, get Joe Burrow, and are good again.
Mhm.
This is a clone of that, except AFC East edition, because the world is, like I said, football is evil.
And to make
Why am
matters
I watching
worse,
this?
Robbie, we have to put this in a perspective. You have the Patriots who now have their quarterback,
Mm.
potentially the Colts with their quarterback. The Giants may have found their quarterback.
Mm,
Are we living in a 2000 simulation right now?
It's a weird question to ask because a lot of the quarterbacks that are succeeding, people had a ton of doubt about, and that's the one thing that caught my eye right away. Daniel Jones getting released by the Giants, goes to Indianapolis. Indianapolis, who had a quarterback decision
Let's
to
not
make
forget
between
he
Anthony
also-
Richardson, who fell off a cliff, who's
He
still
also learned
extremely young.
under Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota,
He did.
which absolutely has helped his confidence.
I don't
for
know
sure.
because he didn't play a game. We don't really know how much Kevin O'Connell actually had on, like what impact he actually had on Daniel Jones. But and to make it matters even worse, former Jets quarterbacks are somewhat succeeding.
they're unreal
in
right now.
Sam Darnold.
Except Geno Smith.
That Geno Smith at least led a team at one point. Zach Wilson, at this rate, he might
That's
well
a
go.
footnote in history, man.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. Sorry that what they did to you. With he technically did beat the Jets multiple times as a member of another team.
That
which
is true. And he didn't play in either game.
And he did not play in either game.
Never
So,
forget when he beat the Philadelphia Eagles, though.
4 turnovers needed, and he beat Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, he beat Jordan Love. I don't know who he beat at that point. No, he beat Jordan Love. He beat Jordan Love.
Yeah, because
He-
Rodgers was on
He
the Jets.
should
at
have
the
beat
time.
Pat Mahomes if the refs stopped favoring the Chiefs.
Speaking of the refs favoring the Chiefs,
We're not going to them yet. We have one more game to bring up before because Rico Dowdle is impressive. Rico Dowdle, man.
Legend.
Why? Why him?
Dallas cut him. That's why.
No, I'm saying why to my fantasy team, man.
True.
Chuba Hubbard gets hurt. So the solution to the Carolina running back problem, which they've had for multiple years,
Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle.
Sure. You know what? Why not?
And
this-
Javonte Williams, who did next to nothing against
Yeah.
Carolina.
183 yards against the against the
He had
Dallas
30,
Cowboys.
what, 38
A
fantasy
hundred-
I mean,
points?
against the Dolphins and the Cowboys, they are playing some of the worst defenses in the
That
league.
is true.
The Rico Dowdle had over 200 total yards.
Yeah.
He
Second
had
straight week.
he had more total yards than the entire Jets receiving core. Not
That
named
to
Garrett-
me is
not
just
named Garrett,
absolutely
not named
insane.
Garrett Wilson. Because he's actually was leading the AFC at one point in receiving yards.
So Rico Dowdle's last 2 games, his fantasy points are 32.4 and 33.9. This man averaged, I'm pretty sure, 66 fantasy
Yeah, I'm
points
sorry,
in his
Chuba.
last 2 games.
Getting that job back is going to be tough.
Yeah, I have Chuba Hubbard, so I'm
Ooh,
living the life.
Chuba's projection dropped from 14 to 8.
8.
But I think he'll still be the starter.
Other
We'll see,
games
though.
to care about. The Seahawks. I was right about
Yeah,
them.
you were.
They beat the Jaguars.
My pilgrimage to Baltimore was successful.
It was. The Rams won. The Cardinals still don't know how to win a game.
Also, I just want to bring this up for a second, Robbie. The funniest thing that I saw in that game was the fact that they try, and I'm not talking about the Corgi race at halftime, which was awesome. If you haven't seen Corgis run, it's one of the funniest things you'll ever see. But what was somehow even funnier was watching a tush push with Mark Andrews.
At this rate, you just
I
want
mean, you're not going to throw Cooper Rush in there.
Mark
you're
Andrews.
not going to throw Cooper
He's gonna
Rush.
break
in there.
something.
You have a running back that is a literal specimen.
Well, I mean, even when Lamar was
Give him the ball.
even when Lamar was healthy, they weren't running the ball to Derrick Henry, especially when they got the ball to the goal line. That's
Except
why the
against the
offense has been
Bills.
so bad. Well, I mean, they could start from the 20 and he'd end up scoring
Yeah,
anyway.
I'll tell you, when I was here, as I'm walking out of the stadium, I'm just hearing nothing but fire, Harbaugh. Like Ravens fans have had enough.
And
They're a broken
You can't blame them.
franchise.
they're a mess, and they deserve to be a mess because there's no way that you should. I mean, granted, they deserve to lose.
And for those that have
There's
this man
no
in
way they
fantasy,
should be a 1-5 team.
that is true. But for those that have this man in fantasy, I can now confirm Puka Nacua has been ruled out for
Correct.
the Jaguars game on Sunday. So you will most likely see him week 10 against the 49ers because they're not going to play him against the Saints.
By the way, shout out to some
The way Rattler's been
statistical
playing?
leaders. Jackson Smith and Jigba and George Pickens had over 160 receiving yards. So shout out to them.
JSN is unbelievable.
Real quick, we will talk about the game that about 2 teams we don't like on this show. The Lions, who
I do not like that.
war crimes were committed by them. They were good. And they have Dan Campbell as their coach.
And they tried to make a bunch of kneecap jokes and got to have people tear their Achilles. And that's why I don't like them.
Then they played the Chiefs.
no one
sorry,
likes.
sorry. Let me refer to that again. The refs. They play the refs in Arrowhead, obviously.
On Sunday Night Football.
On Sunday Night Football, which everyone got to watch except for me because I was working on a paper. And
I was on the train back.
I was watching the Mariners game.
so none of us watched it live. Though I did watch the tape.
I watched the
back.
fourth quarter.
Yeah, I went back.
But yeah, what the heck was that?
No penalties
Team
on
against
the
the
Chiefs the entire game.
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
This is the season from hell, man. It's unbelievable.
Season from hell for you, and your team is what 3-3.
No, I'm
4-2?
saying in general for the league, this is the season from hell.
You know what I mean,
well,
when Daniel Jones is
No,
an MVP candidate,
The Tampa Bay
that seems like
Buccaneers
season
are the
from heaven.
number 1 team in the NFL right now.
Shout out my pick of Baker Mayfield.
they're
And
awesome,
the
dude.
Colts
They're
are
literally
number.
awesome.
The Colts are the 1 seed in the AFC. What?
as they should be.
As they should be. They play in the South.
Jonathan Taylor?
Jonathan
Playing
Taylor.
sensational ball.
Hey, this is what Anthony Richardson was supposed to do if he actually stayed healthy or used the brain.
There needs to be a separate award for best running back of the year and best wide receiver of the year, and then overall offensive player of the year. Because the race could right now potentially be Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, potentially Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith, and Jigba.
Puka Nakua's gonna be out for a minute, so
He'll be out for like 2 games.
That's
yeah,
enough to lose it.
It is
He's
enough to
probably
lose it.
still on pace for 2,000 yards, though. If he has
Ooh,
one
I
game
don't know
over.
about that. I do not know about that.
What's he at right now?
It's going to be hard to take it away from JT the way he's been playing.
That is true.
So yeah, football is football. Yeah, I mean that's the right way to word it. As mentioned, the Bengals and the Unk Bowl last
Joe
night
Flacco.
defeated Aaron Rodgers in the battle of former Jets quarterbacks. The one part that I saw last night, Jamar Chase is a unit, 16 catches for 161 yards. That is ridiculous. He had as many receptions as Jalen Warren had rushes. And Jamar Chase still had more yards than Jalen Warren. But Joe Flacco threw for over 340 yards in 2025. How?
That's unbelievable.
I mean,
I'll tell you
Jalen
how.
Ramsey had a long night last night covering Jamar Chase that game.
It appears that Jalen Ramsey's kryptonite is the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, granted, in the Super Bowl, he got apparently T. Higgins is his kryptonite, even though T. Higgins flat out threw his face mask and threw him onto the ground, which probably one of the worst no calls
Pretty
in Super Bowl
sick,
history.
Pretty sick touchdown.
And there goes the Prez. We will keep the show moving, however. But yeah, Chase, to just talk about this even further, everybody thought that Joe, I mean, I would be one of those people. I thought putting Joe Flacco behind that offensive line would be considered elder abuse.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
I think it's just safe to say that the Bengals or that Joe Flacco can just really play well against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean, yeah, we've seen, I mean, just in his time, ever since leaving the Ravens, go to a couple of teams and just really show success. With the Jets, he even had some flashes, which is nearly impossible to
Can you
do.
imagine if he goes to the Steelers and plays for the entire AFC North?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, the way he's played against the Steelers in his career, I think that might be the one AFC North team he doesn't want to play for. But again, he's played really good, or he played really good in this game, and not even too bad against the Packers last week. But even still, they needed an answer other than Jake Browning, or else you lose the entire locker room, with just continuing to show an offense that is just putrid, to say the least. But they're able to come out here, obviously big time divisional matchup, and they're able to get the win here off of, I mean, an incredible game by Jamar Chase, but also, you know, guys like T. Higgins, Chase Brown having like season best. They
Chase
just
Brown
all
is having himself
all
had
came
a
out and was really good.
resurgence last night.
He did.
Finally.
100 yards.
A big night for the Cincinnati Bengals, who are now only 3-4.
3-4.
So they might be on the rise. Who knows?
See, this is the thing with Joe Flacco. He's
Bro's gonna be
better
ready.
as a backup than he is as a starter, because you look at
He
Joe
is a
Flacco with the
starter.
Browns. Remember when Deshaun Watson got injured and they tried? I'm pretty sure it
Yeah.
was DTR for like 5 games.
It was almost like 3.
And then Flacco mania happened and he carried the Browns to the playoffs. This
They
seems
made the playoffs.
they made the playoffs.
Oh, I forgot about that. Then they got
and
blown
got
out by the
curb
Texans.
stomped by the
Yeah.
CJ Stroud Houston
CJ.
Texans
The Strouds. The
Legend.
Stroud. CJ Stroud led Texans.
in his rookie season.
It was.
Man, remember when they were good?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Sorry, Nico Collins. You know, I
We love
feel
Nico
bad.
Collins.
Yeah, I remember last year the Jets beat the Texans. That's the game that CJ Stroud got injured.
A Halloween game. The
No,
Malachi.
It
yeah.
was literally during Christmas.
No.
It was during the back end of the season. It was like one of the
Jets
last.
Texans.
Oh no, that was a couple of years ago.
It
now,
was
but that was when
Halloween.
Zach Wilson.
I'm
Was
talking about
quarterbacking.
I'm talking about the Malachi Corley
The
game.
second year, last year, that's when Garrett Wilson had that insane catch in
Oh
the end zone.
yeah.
Yeah.
The time is a myth. Time is a
Time
myth.
is a myth.
But since we are running out of time on our show, we'll take a quick break, and when we return, it is time for another edition of the weekly picks here on the Booth Review. Stay with us.
Untouchable, unstoppable.
This is WIUR Sports Radio.
Hi, I'm Robbie Basil, president of WIUR Radio, and I hope you're enjoying today's show. Have you ever wanted to call the biggest games, the biggest moments for the biggest names for Iona Athletics? Then the newly founded WIUR Sports Radio is the place to be. Launched in January of 2025, our goal is to try and get broadcasters here at Iona an opportunity to learn, succeed, and get a chance to be on air. From getting to call the big moments at the hack,
Dinkins trying to go to the rack. Denied. Yafet Mundi.
to seeing the crack of the bat at City Park.
The line drive in the left field, around third, and it kicks away. The Gales are going to win it in 10.
We make those moments happen on our brand new WIUR Sports Radio platform on Mixer. If you're interested, feel free to reach out to me via email or to the rest of my e-board to join the club. We are WIUR Sports Radio, the new home of Iona Athletics. Now, back to the show on WIUR, Iona University Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is.
Welcome
You know
back
what
to the
time-
Rico Dowdle Show.
Yeah, we're not. You don't interrupt my intros, bro.
My
Welcome back to
Bruh.
we don't know what's going on.
The Rico Dowdle
Today
Show.
we are today or whatever part of the day you're watching this or listening. You can do either or. Real quick, yeah, a lot of good games this week. A lot of chaos is set to join us.
Way
maybe
better
we
slate than the
see-
last 2 weeks.
Maybe we see some leading rushers go off, including who's somehow he's in fifth, Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle.
By the way, we're not picking the Jets.
Obviously.
So make sure to tune into our Halloween special. We do have a Halloween special because we are on Halloween in 2 weeks. So type in the chat or in the comments what costume would be the ideal one for each of us on the show. I think that would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think for me, actually, no, we'll talk about it in 2 weeks.
We'll figure it out.
Let's talk about these games. Let's pick some games, shall we? You know, the fan favorite part of the show. JJ, you want to go over last week?
I do want to go over last week. So,
He
unfortunately,
lost.
I did.
He did lose. But it wasn't me, chat. It wasn't me. I didn't go 1-5 again.
It wasn't.
Let's go.
To make matters worse, last place literally went 500. I've yet to go under 500 on the show.
Look at us.
Forward-
Look at us.
Forward to. Never forget this man did go 0-5.
I did go for a 1-4, whatever it was.
Well, no, it was 0-5. The Chiefs lost.
I think we're not picking the Jets. Yeah,
obviously.
you know, defense is a myth in that game. That game's gonna be terrible.
Defense is definitely.
I'm excited for the lack of movement of the football by the Jets. We will begin with the game that no one will be watching because people like to sleep here. It's the Rams and the Jags in London to kick us off. This game is between the Matt Stafford's, I believe, is like one of, if not the leader in passing
Leading
yards in the
passing
league.
yards.
Matt Stafford is having himself
is
an
wild.
MVP campaign when people thought he wasn't going to be able to move this season.
Oh,
That is
man.
true. It's the Puka Nakua less Rams.
Devontae
Continue-
Adams, Tutu Atwell, Jordan Whittington, Tyler Higbee, Terrence Ferguson, Kyron Williams.
I've never been
Blake
less
Corum.
moved by a
I am
position
same.
player group.
I'm picking Jacksonville for that reason.
Same.
Good. I'm
Uh,
glad you picked Jacksonville. Obviously, I'm going to pick the fellas because I always pick the
Hey,
fellas, no matter who
The
we play.
bias
So
is
the Jets.
wild.
The Rams are also let's also forget the Rams are a better team than the Jaguars.
Wow.
I mean, have
you're
you
playing in London. though.
True, but have you seen how dominant the Rams defense has been
Jaguars defense has
outside
been
of potentially
near the
that
top of the
Eagles
league.
game? Yeah, that is true. But my biggest takeaway is this, and this is a message to Travis Hunter. Play offense only. You are not going to want to play defense against this Rams team. They're a fast
Watch him get
flying.
an interception.
I would not be shocked in the slightest. They're a fast team. They're physical. They're aggressive. If the Rams can just utilize the run game and not turn over the GD ball, I'm going to be okay.
You want to talk about turnovers? All right. I'm
Well,
done-
it would
I'm done
also
with the
help if we can, make a field goal. By the way, you mentioned the fact that the Rams still can't do special teams.
Yes, I did.
That was the loudest doink I've ever heard.
Yes,
when
it was.
and it did get Ravens, so
Yeah.
that everybody won. Ravens fans got free McNuggets.
That is
And
true.
I
That
saw
was
my
fun.
team win a football game.
Yeah, great.
And not only that, and refs, please stop making up calls against the Rams. You've done this 3 weeks in
You're
a row.
not. Did
know
you
what-
lead the league in penalties in 1 week
Do you
this
know what
season?
play I'm talking about? though?
Yes.
So you're choosing the Rams.
Yes. Obviously.
Next.
game.
Next game. The Dolphins. I'm kidding.
By the
I'm
way,
ready to talk about this game, bro.
if anybody wants to watch that game, power to you. And whoever's going to
Get
that
ready for the
game,
rain and the winds.
50-mile-an-hour
The
winds.
Judkins and Achan show.
Let's
I'm
move
ready for
on
it.
to
And what's
the-
great is that they are the actually tickets start just $26.
The Ravens game was cheaper than
Quick
that. That's
trip.
unbelievable.
Quick trip to
That should be a $5 game.
Cleveland.
All right.
Never.
Next up.
We're going to Minnesota.
Yes.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Carson Wentz revenge game.
We actually
potentially.
don't know who's starting a quarterback for the Vikings.
It's gonna be Carson Wentz.
Because JJ McCarthy is practicing now.
Okay.
So fire the cannons. If you're a fan of the Vikings, you actually now have not just one quarterback, you got two of them.
Quarterback controversy.
So for that reason, I'm picking the Eagles because quarterback controversies for the Vikings have never worked ever.
Ever.
So yeah, Saquon, do something.
Please, for the love of God, I'm
I mean,
tired of
Brian
this man.
Flores is a pretty good defensive coordinator.
So because of that
Kevin
idea,
Patullo is not a good offensive
I'm
coordinator.
predicting a touchdown for AJ Brown to piss
Dude,
off.
I-
everybody. Yeah,
Actually, he's on my bench right now.
you did bench AJ Brown,
Ryan
and your
did
team
bench
is
him.
still
Do I
loaded.
play him over Real Modunze? Nah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that is
Take
the
a pick,
decision that many will
Chase.
have to
Yeah,
make.
no, I'm gonna go with the Eagles as well. Like you said, QB controversy. It doesn't matter who they throw out; they're both really bad for Minnesota. But I do think their defense is strong. I just think the Eagles need to find some sort of rhythm offensively, and maybe that's with Saquon. Maybe that's with finally going to those guys like Smitty and AJ Brown, or keep shovel passes to Goddard. It's working.
Shovel
with the
past the
Eagles.
Goddard.
Or here's an idea: run the GD ball,
Nah.
please.
To A.J.
Run the
Dillon?
ball.
AJ Dillon. Yes, AJ Dillon. That
Oh,
Will
was
and
Shipley?
while I
Yes.
remember, for the love
Yes.
of God, stop pushing every single play.
It
it's
works,
the only
though.
play that works.
And
It could work.
works.
Next game, we'll keep it moving right along.
Back to Los Angeles.
We're going to Inglewood next, actually, which is right on the list.
Inglewood always up
It's
to
the
no
Colts
good.
and the Chargers. Who would have thought we were picking this game?
I'm considering this game the battle of the frauds,
would've
and
thought
I
this-
think the lesser fraud wins. The Indianapolis Colts move on to 6-1.
I don't believe that at all. I don't trust the South. I've never trusted the AFC South in my life.
You're gonna trust the Chargers?
I'm gonna pick the Chargers. And the only reason I'm picking the Chargers, it's a home game for them. If this was in Indianapolis, I would have thought.
Is
about this
it
completely
really
different.
a home game for the Chargers?
It's in Inglewood, California.
Chargers have no fans.
Yeah,
Do you
but
think
you're
the Colts are
traveling
gonna move
from
from Indianapolis?
Colts fans travel.
They do, but you know who plays well at home other than one game against the Giants?
The Rams.
Justin Herbert. So
True.
I'm going.
Turbo.
Somehow Daniel Jones is more passing yards than Justin Herbert in 2025. So take that how you will.
Dark
Wonder where
horse,
Justin
bro.
Fields is on that list.
He's the only quarterback in the league to started more than 4 games and not have a turnover, and still and we're 0-6. So there you go.
Sounds like a Felipe
Oh, no,
Frank style.
passing. He doesn't have an interception. Yet.
He's 8th in passing yards.
What is he?
Herbert's 8th in passing yards.
Oh, cool. What's Justin
Nice.
Fields? Just reference. What is
Justin Fields?
You'll be scrolling a while.
29th, more than Russell Wilson,
Wow.
he?
who hasn't started since week 3.
So he's probably the worst quarterback.
Probably.
People
All right,
have
so
started.
who you
All right,
going with,
so
Chase?
Chargers, Colts, Chase.
Well, listen, while I'm looking at these passing yards, Daniel Jones does have like 9 passing yards on Justin Herbert. And that's enough for me. I'm going to go with the Colts on this one to continue being the best team in the AFC.
Remarkable.
Remarkable indeed.
Next up.
Next
What's
up,
up, Josh Allen?
we are going back to Texas. We are going to the Commanders, who I think won last week. I don't remember.
They
Oh,
lost
no,
on
they
a
lost. They
game-winning
lost to
field
the
goal.
Bears.
Okay, let me just point.
No,
this out.
we don't have time for that. We are going to George Pickens. That's where everyone's going to be throwing the ball to. I am picking George Pickens.
You do know that CeeDee Lamb is back, right?
Well, I will say.
Well, I was picking the theme of receivers here.
Well,
but
I was going to
yes.
say on the thing of injuries, I saw recently they did officially confirm Terry McLaurin out, but for the Cowboys,
There's
Trayvon
just no-
Diggs
is
is
this
also
dude
out.
ever gonna play? Oh my god!
And that's a big piece.
Yeah, it is.
in terms of that secondary.
defense is a myth in this game.
Well, yeah,
If you're not slamming the
they were
over,
bad even if
what-
those guys were there.
Yeah, that is true. If you're not slamming the over, I don't know what you're doing. But yeah, I am taking the Dallas Cowboys. Big day for whichever receiver wants to get open against this Washington defense, because their pass defense is
Like
usually pretty
Ryan
bad.
Flournoy,
I don't even
Devontae
know.
Ryan
Turpin.
Flournoy,
Flournoy.
what a guy!
Wow, that's a shout, by the way. But yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cowboys as well. I mean, I just think offensively, I mean, Dak Prescott, we're talking about MVP candidates, another sensational season he's having, and getting CeeDee Lamb back. We've seen the connection he already has going on this season with Ferguson, with Pickens. It's going to be definitely, like we've said, a shootout, and I think just the Commanders don't have the weapons right now to be able to get it done.
So you both went Cowboys,
Yes.
correct?
By the way, that is actually the tickets for that game are $20 in Arlington.
How is that cheaper
In
than the
Jerry's
Brown-
world,
How is that cheaper than the friggin' Browns game?
We'll confirm that in a moment. Go.
That's unreal. Anyway,
Heard Vivid Seas.
I think the Commanders were just in poor form on Monday night. I think that Jaden Daniels is going to have himself a bounce back game.
rain didn't help.
Stand in your room only.
That's honestly not too bad. I'm going with Washington.
Okay.
All right, JJ
Give me-
goes with the Commanders.
Give me the upset.
Next game.
I'm
we're
waiting all
going
night.
to- where are we going?
We're going
Sunday
to
night.
Santa Clara, the Sunday Night Football, aka the ultimate hate watch for Rams fans. We have in one corner
Didn't know they hated
Atlanta
the Falcons
Falcons,
so much.
whose draft pick that we own this year. And in the other corner, we have that team from San Francisco.
You have their draft pick?
They gave us a first round pick for the 26th overall pick.
For who is it, Michael Williams?
James Pierce.
Okay.
We absolutely fleeced the Falcons.
So I'm going with San Francisco. I think this, them being at home is a major advantage with a cross country trip. The Falcons, I've seen in the past from them, they don't like this trip as much, but
they do
they
not
do
like it.
have the weapons to go out and destroy the San Francisco.
It's one of the
defense,
hardest things
especially
to
one
do.
that is without Fred Warner.
Yeah.
So,
How
Already
many
without
injuries do the
Bosa.
Niners have?
They
Like,
don't
this is remarkable.
but they still have Christian McCaffrey. So
what kind of devil magic is Kyle
Yeah,
Shanahan
real
got
monkey's
working?
paw. To
I
say,
think
"Let's get this guy
Seriously,
away
what kind
from
of monkey's
everybody
paw
else."
does he have?
I think both of these running backs are going to have a field day, as well as Drake London. But I'm going to go with a late game winning field goal for the San Francisco 49ers.
Right after Jake Moody hit a game-winning
Who's
field
their-
goal.
Who's their kicker now?
Eddie
Eddie Pinheiro,
18 fantasy points last
former
week.
Chicago Bear.
Yes, he is.
Who we going
And
with,
Carolina
Chase?
Panther.
Morgan Williams on the Niners. My bad. Mixed up the draft picks. I'm
You're
gonna go with
good.
the Falcons. I think maybe it's biased just because they just tore through the Bills, but even the Bills kind of slowed down that offense when it came to it. I don't know. Michael Penix, I don't fully trust him, but Bijan Robinson, Drake London, those guys I think are still gonna have really good games. And with the injuries that the Niners have dealt with, I don't think I could trust them here. I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
Man, as much as I want to take Atlanta so the Niners can lose again and that we can potentially be first place in the division, it is terrible. Unfortunately, I know it better than most. Winning in San Francisco is one of the hardest things you can do in the NFL. And winning on prime time, almost impossible. Unless it's Thursday night football, because for some reason they can't win a Thursday night game. I'm going with the Winers.
All right, so JJ goes with the Niners. I'm going Niners. Chase goes Falcons. Time for our final game of the day. It's the Bucks and the Lions. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers leading the NFC with 5 wins from 6. The Detroit Lions coming off of that terrible loss against the Chiefs. And because of that, I'm picking the Lions.
All right.
At home, at Ford Field. It's going to be loud. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere. I think Baker Mayfield's going to be great. I think the receivers are going to be great. No Mecca Ibuka.
No Ibuka and Chris Godwin,
Godwin.
but the return of Mike Evans.
So I think Evans will get a touchdown in his return, but I'm interested to see what other weapons they use. That's the big question.
Rashad White.
No.
Tez Johnson.
Yes.
Sterling Shepard.
Just naming players at this rate.
Kate Otten.
Sean Tucker. Sorry, I'm done.
That one is just not.
I'm going with the Detroit Lions. I think it's going to be another game high scoring, but I'm going to go with Detroit.
And for you?
Yeah, it gives me a lot of the vibes of the last time Detroit was on Monday night. They played against the Ravens earlier this season, and that was an absolute shootout. They came down to the Lions, courage to really go down for the big time plays and get the job done. And I think we're going to see it again, another shootout style play. But I just think the Lions, as a healthier team in terms of their offense, I think are going to be able to get down to taking down the Tampa Bay defense more. So I'm going to go with Detroit.
So I was initially leaning towards Tampa Bay because they were going to have potentially Evans, Ibuka, and Godwin potentially this weekend. But he's out of the equation. This is going to be the Mike Evans show. It's going to be the Rashad White show. It will not be the Sean Tucker show. We all know that. But I'm going with Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions get a big bounce back win at home. They always dominate there. And for some reason, they don't like to lose on primetime unless it's on Sunday nights. So I'm going with Detroit.
It's going to be a fun weekend of football. It's going to be a fun weekend to see who goes to the World Series.
And to see if the Giants could potentially get their season or potentially the playoffs back on track.
It's going to be fun. We'll see if any of your teams can win as well. Football Sunday and Monday, of course, including a Monday doubleheader, with the second game being the Texans of Seattle at a surprising 10 p.m.
10 p.m. at night.
Brilliant.
Perfect
That will
time
do
for the
it.
Texans.
That will do it for us for another edition of the Booth Review. For JJ Seglio and Chase Caridi, I'm Robbie Basil saying so long. We'll see you next week. This has been the Booth Review on WIUR Radio.
Go Irish.
Untouchable.
Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.